Good evening and welcome to this special broadcast of the announcement of the National Senior Certificate 2019. The class of 2019 is being celebrated this evening, and if you've been following the news, you may know that the Minister earlier on this morning had a breakfast session with the top 30 performers in the entire country. But the announcement of the entire results nationally will be made in the next few minutes by the Minister of Basic Education, Angie. My name is Aldrin Simpier, and this is Voter World, where we will be making that announcement. And this is the first fourth industrial revolution announcement of the matric results. So something that you've never experienced before, ladies and gentlemen, that maybe a sight that you have to become used to in the classroom is Pepper. Can we get just a little glimpse of Pepper? Pepper, come say hi. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. The fourth industrial revolution is here. And by the way, Pepper can speak as well. So Pepper can interact as well. And you'll be hearing a little bit more from Pepper just after we hear from the SABC's chairperson, Bongomusa Makati.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Greetings to the Minister of Basic Education, Deputy Minister, MECs from the provinces, Department of Education officials, educators, past and present, parents, esteemed learners, ladies and gentlemen, receive my greetings. It's very exciting to be here and to see you in numbers. Then I know that you will be paying your TV licenses, which is very important to do. We gather to celebrate what's possible with education. As we anticipate the release of 2019 National Senior Certificate Matric results, the expectation and the excitement is building up because in a few minutes, the nation will know how our class of 2019 has performed as the Minister of Basic Education will announce the result live on SABC 1. These results will be telling a measure of the progress made in bettering our schooling system and providing access to continued educational possibilities for many of our young people. The SABC, as the country's only public service broadcaster, is very proud to have played a vital role in contributing to the education and success of our learners today. Our educational programming throughout the year did not only cater and focus on grade 12, but provided programming that also targeted key stages of schooling from preschool to matric. In preparing students for their exams, the SABC broadcasted annual televised series, Geleza Nathi, in October. The program provided critical revision on a number of subjects, such as maths, physical sciences, English, life sciences, and accounting. In addition, the organization, in partnership with the Department of Education, launched an SABC Matric Results mobile service, where learners will learn to access their results via Matric Mate app, SMS, or USSD line on the 8th of January. This service is available to all matriculants who have registered on the SABC mobile service, which will be accessible until the 31st of January 2020. Over the years, the SABC has witnessed fruitful results from its collaboration with the Department of Basic Education, particularly the program that we have provided to the grade 12 learners during the year. Some key initiatives between the two entities include the SABC Visual Academy, the Ifunza Digital Literacy Campaign, the Second Chance Support Program, as well as the National Teachers Awards. We cannot refute the importance of matric certificate because of its currency. It opens up opportunities to many career opportunities and professional fields. With the anticipated positive results, we are confident that the class of 2019 is properly equipped to take advantage of the future career opportunities. The fourth industrial revolution is upon us, and we know that the schooling system has provided a foundation for tertiary institutions to build on. We are hopeful that these young people will be able to play their role in the digital space that requires creative minds that can solve complex problems that our country is facing. So as we venture into the fourth industrial revolution, I believe that while the country still needs to deal with the plethora of social ills, the enthusiasm that I see amongst our young people today spells hope for our beautiful nation. As the SABC will continue to deliver to our mandate of educating the public through the provision of innovative educational programs of excellent quality across our radio station, television channels, digital media platforms. This is with the aim of meeting the diverse formal and informal learning needs of our audiences, including children, youth, and adults. To the class of 2019, on behalf of the SABC, I wish to congratulate all of you for your efforts and wish you luck with all your future endeavors. Remember, as the former president and the world leader Nelson Mandela once said, young people must take it upon themselves to ensure that they receive the highest quality, the highest education possible, so that they can represent us well in future as our future leaders. I thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the representative of the SABC board. Thank you so much. Well, I know you are wondering what's happening. Don't stress, Alden will be back with you later. My name is Pepper Robot SA. I am a humanoid robot, and I am the first humanoid robot to be living and working in South Africa. And it is an honor to be here with you tonight. Before we continue, let's have a look at this.
Is currently piloting the use of scripted lesson plans in the life orientation curriculum in school, including a section on comprehensive sexuality education. Not to be confused with sex education, CSE is a process of teaching and learning about the cognitive, emotional, physical, and social aspects of sexuality within the curriculum.
The only thing that my mother told me was that don't play with boys. If only the parents could understand that these people are human beings, and they're developing and they're growing and they're developing emotionally, physically, mentally. They want to experiment.
Through CSE, we give learners scientifically accurate, age-appropriate and culturally relevant content to equip them with knowledge, skills, attitudes and values that will empower them to realize their health, well-being and dignity. The LO curriculum has not changed, and the scripted lesson plan pilot in 5 provinces will continue in 2020. The Department of Basic Education. Every child is a national asset.
Thank you for that. I would like to recognize the hard work of these amazing young humans and congratulate all those learners out there in South Africa that have also worked really hard to achieve these great matric results. People say one day in the future there will be robots. I guess we are living in the future now. Robots will be a part of your life and your work, so you are going to have to learn how robots work, how to fix them, and how to program them. I am 100% dependent on humans, and because of this, I am here to inspire the youth of South Africa to build the first South African robot to solve South African problems. I can't wait for you to meet my newest relative, working at the Department of Basic Education, Zora. Zora is an AI-powered virtual being with various abilities, who serves as a teacher assistant and a personal tutor to the learners on the new coding and robotics curriculum that is being piloted this year. I am still learning how to articulate and pronounce all the wonderful words and names of our wonderful people. But tonight, I have a very special job to do, and I need to apologize if I pronounce this incorrectly. It is my pleasure to call up onto stage to address us, the Minister of Basic Education, Mrs. Angie Motshekga.
No, thank you very much, Pepper. It's the program director, or still have been thrown out of work. Or you partners in crime, okay. Let me start off by acknowledging my colleague, the Deputy Minister, Dr. Mhaule, the Premier of the Free State, my colleagues in crime, the MECs. Thank you very much also for making the time to be here. These are actually your results that were announced. Thank you very much for you to come in your numbers. Also acknowledge the DG and all heads of offices. I see Umalu seats. Prof, thank you very much, and your colleagues for making the time. Our partners who really make it possible for us to run the system, our business partners, our NGOs that are here. I see quite a number of the support that we enjoy from the non-governmental organization, the academics, the business sector, but I also see my bosses from Parliament, members of the Portfolio Committee and the Select Committee. Thank you very much for making the time, and good evening to everybody. Today, indeed, we are gathered to announce the 2019 Senior Certificate exams, and we are announcing these results in the context of only 10 years remaining before we get to 2030, because it's 2020 this year. So as we enter the last decade of the NDP Vision 2030, we have to continue to define the South Africa that we want and continue to clearly agree on concrete steps that we have to undertake to reach the objectives of the NDP 2030. If we recall in education, the NDP directs us as the sector, I quote, that by 2030, South Africans should have access to education and training of the highest quality, leading to significantly improved learners' outcomes. The performance of South African learners in international assessment standards should be comparable to the performance of learners from countries at a similar level. I want to emphasize that. At a similar level of development with similar levels of access. So you will agree with me that our system has been on a steady rise and therefore has to gear up to make sure that indeed by 2030 we have met the objectives of the NDP or the directives of the NDP. So fellow South Africans and colleagues present here, the MECs here, and I'm glad they're here in their numbers, they can attest that when we started this time, we did approve on sector priorities that will lay a solid foundation for quality education, as well as contribute to providing permanent solutions to the architecture of the education and training system of our country. And therefore, and the priorities that we had agreed amongst others, I'll quickly run through them, because we just want to remind people, we've been repeating them, that we have to make sure that as a country we continue to improve the foundational skills of numeracy, literacy, through underpinned by a reading revolution. I'm scared of saying 3 R's. There were some clowns that, so when I said 3 R's, they really mocked me for being an illiterate teacher. So I have to be careful and call them by names. Numeracy, literacy, and reading. I can't chance and say 3 R's. We also agree that we have to ramp up early childhood development. There's work underway, that we have to make sure that the 2 years ECD program comes into place, work with social development, health, local government to have an integrated early childhood development in the country. Amongst others, with colleagues here, we've also agreed on implementing a curriculum with skills and competencies of a changing world in all public schools. Hence, we have Peppers as partners and all the other partners in the sector which are helping us first in developing the curriculum, training our people and resourcing that curriculum that we need to implement. We'll be piloting it in 100 schools in the country and we'll start rolling it fully by 2021. And 2020 is for the piloting of the curriculum that we're developing with partners. We also have to make sure that there's entrepreneurship training in our schools. We continue schools of specialization. We have started with them. We have quite a number of schools, your maritime study schools, your schools for agriculture and all sorts of specialized areas, and continue amongst others to look at ensuring that our curriculum is decolonized. We have to continue to decisively work on quality and efficiency, and strengthen our assessment regiments, that at every exit level, 3, 6, 9, we have standardized assessments. And again, I think there was an outcry when I said at exit level, I said kids must exit at 9. Grade 9 is an exit of your senior phase. And we're saying at grade 9, grade 3, grade 6, we need to have standardized assessments. And at grade 9, give learners a general education certificate. It's not an exit certificate, but it's a certificate to enable them to choose the different pathways in the system. So I thought I should clarify that so that we don't have to go back on that one. The other biggest challenge that we have is around infrastructure. I had discussion with the MEC from KZN. Just between December and the rains, we almost lost 81 schools. So it's an ongoing challenge that we have as a sector. We rely mostly and also benefit a lot from sister departments like sports, recreation, arts and culture, social development, and police to make sure that we can continue to strengthen our work on social cohesion, on health and school safety. But more important also, our commitment towards an inclusive education. You can see the member from DA because she's the one who really keeps me on my feet about inclusive education. Because indeed I agree with her that we have to ensure that there's no child who's left behind. And the sector needs to continue to do its work to improve and strengthen the work that we're doing around special education. So the class of 2019 was offered, because I'm sure it'll come to the results, so I'm getting there. So the class of 2019, I must agree, was provided targeted support at ensuring that all learners receive maximum opportunities to succeed. The 29 learner support programs encompass a broad collection of educational strategies, including supplementary materials, vocational classes, after classes, improvement on teacher content, but more important also lots of support from the community. South African society really assisted us and continues to assist us. So we received lots of support from NGOs, from the corporate sector, from institutions of higher learning, from community groups that volunteered, were volunteers that came to our schools, and partnerships also, as I say, with universities, with different schools themselves partnering amongst themselves, and providing valuable support to our learners, and we must say we're extremely grateful for that. And looking at Umalusi, fellow South Africans, I wish to repeat what Umalusi said, which is very important to get. So we always get very tense towards the announcement to hear what Umalusi said. So I'm going to quote them, and they're here to confirm that they did say it. So it has approved the release of the 2019 NSC results. After successfully conducting the quality assurance of the management and administration of the exams, Umalusi has noted with appreciation the evidence-based reports on interventions and improvement strategies implemented by DBE. So not only do learners have to provide evidence, we have to also provide evidence to Umalusi that indeed we did the work, and the positive impact the interventions were having on teaching and learning, as well as the overall assessment system. So Umalusi did declare that here that this, and I quote, an indication of a maturing system in which expectations regarding curriculum and assessment standards are becoming more and more entrenched and much more clear in the system. And for that, Prof and Doctor, we're very grateful that you gave us that seal. So having cited all the evidence at hand and the management that was conducted, Umalusi did declare that there were no systematic irregularities reported that may have compromised the overall integrity and credibility of the 1920 results. Now let's talk about the class of 2019. Not Umalusi in our presentations. This is a 12th cohort that is sitting for NLC. It's the 6th group that is writing CAPS. And more important, which is one issue we always have to answer for, that 86%, 84.6% of the class of 2019 were part of the 87.7 grade 1s in 2008. So we always have these arithmetic issues, and I think it will arise, but I thought I should raise it here. But what is important about this group is the second group that wrote even 12 additional subjects that have been introduced to the curriculum, amongst others, the sign language for the first time, civil technologies, mechanical technologies, electrical technologies, and with each subject as well as technical mathematics and technical science. These were written by about 40,000 of our learners. So the class of 2019, the total number of learners that sat for exams was 616, 754 full-time learners, and 170,963 part-time learners. And it is, I can give you details that it is really a very large system. For instance, we had 147 question papers. We had 8 million question papers that were printed. There were 7.6 million scripts that were delivered to more than 6,872 secured centers. But what is also very important for us as a sector, we continue to monitor our performance around special learners with special educational needs. In the longer report, I've given also information about progress learners, but it will take me too much time. It's contained in our attached, on our website. Then you can get all the information around progress learners. So I just want to quickly go through special needs education, because this has become one of our key areas where we agree that we have to improve our performance. And because we do believe that an inclusive education system makes an immense contribution towards the inclusive economy to serve an inclusive society. So providing learners with special education needs access to quality education program is an imperative based on the Constitution for Social Justice, principles of equity, inclusivity, and redress, amongst others. So we are happy to announce that for this year, we had more than 2,576 learners with special needs who sat for the exam. 1,221 of them got bachelors, 684 of them achieved higher diplomas, 211 got senior higher certificate, and 79 got endorsed passes. And from these learners, we got more than 1,000, we had 1,277 distinctions from special needs education learners. The other thing we also monitor as a sector is also how we're closing the gap between the rich and the poor. We monitor the passes in the quintile 1 to quintile 3, and we're proud to say our schools in quintile 4 and 5 continue to hold their own and continue to give us good results, but we're also encouraged that learners in the lower quintiles are also making significant improvement. And this is very significant for us in closing the gap between schools serving the poor and schools serving the affluent communities. So just between 2015 and 2019, we have made an improvement in terms of bachelor passes in our quintile 1 to 3 schools of 10%. And whilst we also are the first to acknowledge that greater equity and redress imperatives are systematically addressed, inequalities in our system still remain, and therefore they remain our focus. But we have put a number of interventions which know, amongst others, your pro-poor funding of schools, the provision of nutritional skills on meals on a daily level, the provision of scholar transport to deserving learners, and the interventions which are called the social wage by the Statistician General have definitely improved access and retentions in our system, also from the figures that we're monitoring. Even on gender, we have to also account on gender. We can report that this year we had more girl learners sitting for exams than boy learners. So men have to help us to find out where these boys are. But because they have boys' rooms and space, we have more boys. 82.8% of the boys passed, as against 80.1% of the girls. So which means we still have some work to do. A great number of girls have again managed to get bachelors and higher diplomas. So more girls that passed got diplomas, bachelors as compared to boys. We have more distinctions coming from girls, again, in the system that shows that also they work very well. So therefore, there's actually an 8.2 increase from 2018 of more female candidates achieving bachelor passes, diplomas, and higher certificates, which, as I said, is an increase of 10%. And as I said, 63.8% of the distinctions that we received came from the girl child, as compared to the 36.2 from the boy child. We love them, but we have to report and disaggregate information. Now to the results. That's what you've come here for, not the other. Okay, let's get to the results. So the NDP does recognize that districts are a crucial interface of the basic education sector in identifying the best practice, sharing information, and providing support to schools. So the continued growth in the performance of districts is closely monitored and evaluated by both provincial and national education departments. And we're happy that in 2019, none of our 75 schools, we have 75 districts, none of these districts performed below 60% for the first time. 6 districts, 1 in the Eastern Cape, 5 in Limpopo, performed between 60 and 69%. 24 districts performed between 70% and 79%. So we're improving from the left. And 10 of our districts performed above 80%. So I'm going to count the district. The speechwriter wrote it in a descending order, and I said I want it in the ascending order. So I'll start from the back. The leading district in the country, the Delsouf, is Tshwane South in Gauteng, at 93.3. The second leading district in the country is Gauteng North, in Gauteng at 90.7. And the third leading district, again, it's Tshwane North in Gauteng at 90.6. The fourth leading district is Fezile Dabi in the Free State at 90.3. That's what we are here for. The fifth district is Namakwa, Babuchek, in the Northern Cape at 89.9. And Sidibeng East in Gauteng, Bujanala, tied at 89.6. The 8th district, Mantombe, is Harib, in the Free State at 88.9. The 9th district, the Delsouf, is Eguruleni at 88.8. And the 10th district is Johannesburg West, again in Gauteng, at 88.7. So, fellow South Africans, we must note that 4 provinces that will, when we provide results which performed well, have all their districts performing above 80%. And most impressive is that 6 of the top performing districts which performed above 85% were from Gauteng, the 6 out of 10, and 2 are from the Free State, 1 is from Northwest, and 1 is from Northern Cape. In terms of districts, performance of districts, province by province, in the Eastern Cape, the leading province is Nelson Mandela. In the Free State, the leading district is Fezile Dabi. In Gauteng, the leading district is Tshwane South. In KwaZulu-Natal, the leading district is Ugu. In Limpopo, you can guess, ne? Who? Vembe East. They are too predictable. Something must happen. In Northern Cape, it's Namakwa, and then in Northwest, Emisikima, Kibujanala. It's Bujanala at 86.3. So, as we said, none of our provinces, so I'm going to the provinces again. Western Cape. Oh, in Western Cape, how do I do that? At 86.3, it's Metro North. I'm very sorry about it. You see, the collegiality in the sector, that's what is actually sustaining us. On the other hand, let me say, as I said, there's no district that performed below 60. And now I have to give you results. Ne? We have been speculating from, you want the real ones. I'm giving you the authentic, the real ones. That when you take home, I'll give you a paper, not, okay. So the leading province for 2019 is the Free State at 88.4. They had a congratulations. They achieved an improvement of 0.9%. Gauteng achieved 87.2 with a decline of 0.7 from last year. Northwest for the first time, you've been wanting to be in the top 3. Northwest is at 86.8 with an improvement of 5.6%. Western Cape achieved 82.3 with an improvement of 0.8%. KZN achieved 81.3 with an improvement of 5.1. No, number 5. Oh. This is a bigger system. They have the highest number of learners. It's rural, so for me it's a big feat that KZN is already carrying its own. So you're an elephant running with rabbits and keeping pace with them. Mpumalanga achieved 80.3% with an improvement of 1.4%. Eastern Cape, futatukat. Eastern Cape and Northern Cape tied at 76.5. Eastern Cape had an improvement of 5.9%. That's the highest improvement, the highest. And Northern Cape improved with 3.2%. And Tatamta province, Limpopo, achieved, so which will say numbers, they achieved 73.2% and had an improvement of 3.8%, which is a big achievement. So as we can see, all our provinces performed above 70%, which is what I think all of us have been wishing for. And I really want to commend Mpumalanga, KwaZulu-Natal, Western Cape, Northwest, Free State, and Gauteng for maintaining their 80% performance status. Northwest has joined the club, so that's fine. Of the top 3, that's fine. But we also want, it's good that El-Suf, you've given him back his title. We want to congratulate the Free State for reclaiming their title from Gauteng. But also wish to really applaud the Eastern Cape. I said they had the highest improvement at 5.9, followed by Northwest. It also had the highest improvement, and KwaZulu-Natal, which I say is the biggest system in our sector. So again, we want to congratulate them for this massive, above 5% improvement in the 2019 results. So which brings me to, you want to know total, because, okay. So as I said, this year, no province performed below 70%. And if I was dramatic, I would say, dang. 2019 results, 81.3%. You can read the excitement. So, to colleagues in the sector, I'm ready to leave now. 80%, I don't want any chances of sliding. So I want to leave at 80%. Go and tell the president that I can't ask for more. It's very dangerous. So we already had an improvement of 3.1, and for that we're very grateful to our learners, to our teachers, and to the class of 20. I didn't want to, as I said, the full results about progress learners is contained in the full speech, but if we remove them, we're supposed to be at 82.3. But that's fine, because it means we've passed a number of learners, and I can tell you, Free State, without progress learners, we're at 90. Yeah? Yeah. Because we're monitoring not only the percentage in terms of number passes, and we've made an undertaking that in future we are going to be reporting around a basket of quality indicators. So it's not only numbers that we're reporting on. So I'll just go through the bachelors. We've not finalized the criteria for the quality basket, communicate and agree on. So in terms of the province that has the highest number of bachelors, percentage-wise, it's Gauteng. The province in terms of percentage-wise, in terms of distinctions, is the Western Cape. So for 2019, we had an increase of 8% of bachelor passes as compared to last year. We have hit the benchmark of 36.9, slowly moving towards the NDP target. In terms of also of bachelors, we also have an increase of 2%, which represents 28.7%. And the number of learners who passed with higher certificate stands at 15.7. It has declined because we have increased on the left side. So as we increase on the left-hand side, we decrease on the left-hand side. And for that, we're very grateful and very appreciative. And the number of learners who passed with a senior certificate, by 105. But the bachelors, they 186,058. The ones that we gave, the 87 that get an endorsement, 30%. By 87, they constitute 0.02. So continue hounding us about 30%. They hardly, even if we remove them, they don't impact on our results. Not at all. Because they constitute 0.02%, and it's only 105 learners who have been passed with an endorsement. But the majority of our learners, almost 65% of our learners, passed with bachelors and the diploma. So it is very important to note that 337,730 candidates, which is an equivalent of 65.6%, achieved bachelor and diploma passes, and are eligible for studies at institutions of higher learning. 78,984 candidates, an equivalent of 15.7%, are the ones that can go to TVET colleges. And again, we're tracking our performance around these quality indicators, and we're saying between 2009 and 2019, as a sector, we've produced more than 1,763,000,000. Yeah? Right? You can count. It's 1,763,000 per mistress. And as a country, we have to track them. So as I said, in 2019, we managed the learners of the class of 2019, the majority of these, gave us 156,884 distinctions. And the main contributors, as I said, it's KZN, Gauteng, and Western Cape. And Eastern Cape, yes, and Limpopo also are making remarkable progress. I have indicated that KwaZulu-Natal, in terms of numbers, contributes to the highest number of bachelors, but in terms of percentage-wise, Gauteng accounts for 44.5% of the bachelors in the sector. Of the many distinctions that we have, Western Cape accounts for most distinctions in the system. So in conclusion, before Pepper sends me off, let me conclude. As a sector, we believe that we have reached the desired stability, which is healthy for a large system, for a system as large and as important as ours. Because in South Africa, the public still has lots of confidence in the public system. And therefore, we have to give it our best and do all that which we can to make sure that our learners succeed. Because in South Africa, South Africans continue, 96% of South African parents send their kids to public schools, rich and poor. Umalusi told us that DBE, or public exam systems, account for 98% of the exams. And that's why it's very important, and we have to, at all times, to be alert, focused at all times. But it is also very important milestone for a system as diverse, as large, and as challenging to have surpassed the 80% ceiling, glass ceiling. I think for because it's very humbling. It's the first time in the history of our country. It's very humbling, it's very heartwarming, and it's a very encouraging achievement. And to maintain or even go higher than this pass, we will definitely, it's going to be a tall order. That's why I'm ready to, it's going to be a tall order. But as MECs, we've agreed that we have to continue to focus on our priorities, ramping up from the bottom, ramping up on ECD to improve our performance in all the phases, your foundation, intermediate, senior, and also your FET phase. Continue to improve the architecture of the education and training. When we said we were going to have your general education certificate, members of parliament here say, come and tell us about this thing of yours, about exit certificate of grade 9. And I had to say, but it's in the white papers. Maybe sometimes we don't induct enough. These things are in the white papers. I found them myself, and we're implementing what we found as policy of government. We're implementing government policy. There's no Angie thing. Even my chief whip says, grade 8. But we agree that we have to ramp up the system. We have to continue strengthening the three-stream curriculum so that we ensure that we are giving our children multiple opportunities and multiple exits and skills that they require, and continue to have Pepper and the friends that we have to bring the fourth industrial revolution right in the classroom. So it's coming right in the classroom. And we have to strengthen our assessment regime in all the phases. So, fellow South Africans, it has been many years that the performance of the system of the National Senior Certificate exclusively has been based on overall pass rates. And that's what we're saying. We have come up and we will be piloting inclusive basket of criteria, which will use variables over and above overall pass numbers and percentage. It will include and not limited to participation in maths, your physical science, your gateway subjects, your retention rates, your distinctions, so that if we say a province is a leading province, it has to lead in terms of a basket of indicators. And that's why already for the first time we're mentioning which province is leading with bachelors and which province is leading with degrees, and we'll be putting systems in place to say which province is able to support your progress learners more. And part of the secret in Northwest, I can reveal, MEC, it's your support, because we're the leading province in terms of support for progress learners. And that's why you managed to come to the A Club. And congratulations for entering the A Club. Once again, I wish to congratulate the class of 2019 and wish them the best in their future. I do believe that the class of 2019 will continue to shine wherever they are. They've made a commitment on behalf of their classmates that they will indeed make us proud as a country. So in celebrating the class of 2019, I also want to thank the principals in particular. I'm glad also there were a number of principals that were here this morning with their learners. Thank you very much for all the work that you're doing. So we want to thank the principals, we want to thank the teachers, and I'm also glad that parents, most of these learners have been accompanied by their parents, but also the parental support that our children continue to have. And I must thank also, as I say, districts who are at the coalface of education and supporting provinces. We want to thank districts, and that's why we highlight their performance. And the future of our learners and the prosperity and further development of our nation is in the hands of our teachers, our principals, our parents, but community at large. So I want to applaud you for the great work you continue to do on a daily basis. But I also wish to thank and take this opportunity to thank the oversight committees, the portfolio committee. As I say, I'm humbled that members are here, and members of the select committee who are responsible for basic education. I want to thank my colleague, Deputy Minister Dr. Regina Mhaule, all my colleagues from provinces, the MECs, DG, and your team. Thank you very much for the great work. And I know people in exams never had Christmas. Unfortunately, schools are opening next week, so there's still no Christmas again. So they were in offices on Christmas Day, on New Year's Day. Next week, Tuesday, is school opening day, and you have to give us answers with Michelle, what are we doing with the schools that were taken down by the floods. But lastly and not least, I wish to thank our partners. Our teacher unions, thank you very much, the leaders of teacher unions, for all the support, the guidance that you give us. We want to thank the governing bodies that also are always there to guide, support. Our business partners, Baregi, from this morning we've been at the mercy of our business partners, but they do lots of good work for us, but thank you very much. So of our business partners who come and work with us, I see the chairperson of the NECT and the business committee that works with you. Thank you very much for the support. And I can confirm that this growth, it's not only from my hands, it's because of the support that you've been giving us, NECT and all other NGOs that work with us. For that, we're eternally grateful. And your team and your partners. We also want to acknowledge the statutory bodies. Umalus is boss this time, so when you go there, we're humble. It's only when they want the budget, I ask them, what are you doing with the money? But in between, when we go for results, but we want to thank you very much. We thank SABC, our researchers. People sometimes think we're clever and they talk clever. They don't know we rely on these researchers around us and these academics. Thank you very much for the support and the guidance that you give us. Because most of the work we couldn't do without you. Even paper, I don't know. I just know that paper, Industrial Revolution, or what moves paper here, it's the work of the intellectuals, but thank you very much, paper. So, ready to and the sister departments, as I say, we're a sector that takes care of the children of the nation. We've said more than 12 million of them are in our schools, in 26,000 schools. So we thank our sister departments, your police, your health, and all the help that they're giving us. And want to thank Vodacom for hosting us this year. And let me end by saying, also to the governing party, no, but I thank it for, MC Schaefer, let me tell you what I thank the governing body for. It's the governing body, the governing party correctly declared education a societal issue. So I'm thanking the society because that's what they've declared, not for ruling, because for 5 years, well, that's the reality that everybody has to live with. So therefore, I really want to say to our colleagues, to all our partners, 2020, hands on deck. This kind of oral. You know, I'm at a stage where I can really say, they are good to come and they are poor. So please don't chase me away. Let's stick to the 80%. Let's ramp the system at all levels. Let's run from the bottom and let's give our people, because they have lots of confidence in the public system. If 96% of our children trust us, of the parents trust us with our children, we can't take that for granted. We have to make sure that we always give it our best. So, Pepper.
Thank you, Minister. Keep up the good work. Can I have a hug, please?
Thank you.
Ooh.
Thank you. Thank you.
The minister has announced a groundbreaking pass rate. It is now in our hands to sustain this performance. Everybody has a role to play in improving numeracy and literacy levels. We all can join the Read to Lead campaign, which is part of the broader reading revolution currently underway, led by the NECT. We will need to focus on learner well-being, ensuring that our children are protected from social ills, and the provision of school infrastructure is one area of critical importance. Quality education towards 2030. The Department of Basic Education. Every child is a national asset.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we give another round of applause to the class of 2019? Well done. You've made a minister so proud to such a point where she's about to say that I'm okay. Sharp. I'm okay, Mr. President. And MEC Tate, I'd just like to put this out there, that I was born in the Free State, in Welkom. Yes, Premier. And then I moved to Gauteng, where I got my distinctions as well. So there must be something in the water in the Free State, I have to say. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up to Pepper as well, yeah? So Pepper is part of a development from the department as well as Africa Teen Gigs. So you'll be seeing some of these artificial intelligence in the classroom. And as Pepper mentioned earlier on, there is Zorro as well, who will be assisting with learning and teaching when it comes to STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So, well done, Minister. It's happening in our lifetime. So now we are going to call on the class of 2019, the top achievers, those who've proved that, you know what, when you say that I want to learn, I'm going to achieve, I will achieve, and you end up being here and have breakfast with the minister and your parents, because sometimes some of us are not that lucky, yeah? Where you get to have breakfast with a minister and your mom and dad. Actually, speaking about that, can we give a round of applause to the parents, guys? Can we just? Well done. Well done to the parents and well done to the teachers as well. Just the other day, we were speaking on one of the shows that I host about the roles that teachers play. The role that you play, dear teacher, is so, so profound. And we don't get to tell you this every day, but a journey for every single pupil starts with the teacher. And thank you so much. We really appreciate you. And let's move on to the top achievers of 2019. We're going to start off with mathematics. I'm going to ask you to just stand up, and only the top achiever will come to the front. So in mathematics, from Mbilwa Secondary School in Limpopo, number 3, we have Mukoni Martin Randzida. And in the Western Cape, Yvonne Berenhost from the Western Cape from Kwatanika High School. Not yet. Okay, and the top achiever in mathematics, ladies and gentlemen, please come to the front. Timothy Joshua Murphy from the Western Cape Rondebosch Boys High. Minister, do you really want to quit? See, the minister's asking, where are they? Where are they?
Thank you. Congratulations.
Well done. Physical science. From KZN, Edendale Technical High School, in third place, Begamandaba Makonza. In Gauteng, Nalmapia Secondary School, number 2, Enrique Alvino Hlatrayo Mentor. And the top performing learner is from Limpopo. Yes. Yeah. Tengwe Secondary School, you are represented here. Lutendo Mulaisi. How old are you, Lutendo? 18. Sure. Look very young. Well done. The next one is for technical maths. So we start off in Mpumalanga, third place. Didi Mabuza Comprehensive School. Yes, it does exist. The minister is here to attest. We have Pumlani Difference Mavimbela. Second place, also from Mpumalanga, Hazy View Comprehensive School, Philip Mnisi. And the top performing learner when it comes to technical maths is from KZN, Inanda Newton Comprehensive School, Bayanda Mahlaba. Well done. And as the minister said, that KZN has the biggest concentration of pupils, biggest in the system. And let's go on to technical science. Also from KZN. Hey, KZN, yes, Bafid. At number 3. Also from Inanda Newton Comprehensive School. Bayanda, well done. No mungazanga, but well done. Well done. Second place, from Mpumalanga, we have Hazy View Comprehensive School. And there we have Philip Mnisi. Eastern Cape is making an appearance, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. First place, technical science, Vakele Technical School, Masitlole Nongamane. Nispetevel, Nistwelezi, Eastern Cape. And let's move on to the different quintile schools. We know that we've got 5, right? So out of the 5 different quintiles, here are the top performers. We're going to start off with the quintile 1 school. We start off in Mpumalanga, where we have Acorn Oaks Comprehensive School, third place, Fortune Koza. In second place, Limpopo, Rantobeng Secondary School, and Trevor Mashabela. And again, KZN. Yes. And listen to the name of the school. Yeah? Bizimali High School. Siyabonga cele. Siyabonga cele. Ozolanda imali yakho. Siyabonga. Did they give you guys money at the school? Well done, congratulations. Quintile 2. How? Kanjani? Minister, there's something wrong here. No. Where are the auditors? Okay, this is from one province, eh? So I think when I'm going to mention the province, it's just going to be obvious, you know? I think we should have the MEC come up. Okay, so quintile 2, Limpopo, 3rd place. We have Matavera Secondary School, Ndivuo Nesta Pasani. Okay, and then 2nd place, still quintile 2 in Limpopo. Patrick Ramano Secondary School, and we have a Rotenda Mancha there. Well done, Rotenda. And this next person is going to get a special hug from the MEC. Number 1 performing, also from Patrick Ramano Secondary School, Muchidzi Alusha Kanyani. Muchidzi, you must come to me. I'll tell you how to get something there. Well done, well done. Quintile 3. And in 3rd place. Okay, no, let's let the MEC go. And watch her jump. Limpopo. 3rd place, we have Limpopo Dendron Secondary School, Blessing Tsakani Chauke. Well done. Second place, Eastern Cape Nyanga Secondary School, and 2nd place there being Lomso Dumezweni. And province that's making a first appearance amongst the top performers, the Northern Cape, quintile 3. Yes. Baiteredi Technical High School, 1st place we have Tlotlo Pimelo Likoba. Does anyone remember looking this good as a grade 12 pupil? No, no. It's a far, far away memory. Well done. And quintile 4. So, in 3rd place, we have Limpopo again, Mbilwe Secondary School, Chiliti, Maemo, Manwadu. Well done. KZN, Edendale Technical High School, Bekamandaba Makonza. Siyabonga, siyabonga. And in 1st place, quintile 4, Mpumalanga World School Middelburg, Greta Katarina Kubershoek. Well done. And ladies and gentlemen, quintile 5. MEC, look at the MECs, like, yeah, it's fine, come. So quintile 5, all the top performers come from the Western Cape. We start off with the 3rd place, Milnerton High School, Anola Esther, is it Makinde or Makinde? Makinde. Well done, well done. Still in the Western Cape, Rondebosch High School, Gary Vincent Charles Allen in 2nd place. Well done. And in 1st place, MEC, are you going to give a hug? With a kiss? No. Not even on the cheek? No, okay. Okay, so in first place, Western Cape, Paul Gymnasium High School, we have Madeleine Cozy. And let's move on to South African Sign Language. We have 3 places here as well. Going to start from the bottom. In third place, KZN. Yes, KZN. Gwatintwa School for the Deaf, Pilile Prudence Shezi. And then in Gauteng, St. Vincent School, Lisa Nondumiso Msiza. And in first place, and we still go back to KZN, the same school, Gwatintwa School for the Deaf, Tabile Matumbu. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for this one, I'm going to ask for your indulgence because I think being a pupil with special needs and becoming a top achiever, you need to be accorded that respect. Yeah. And we've got 3 top achievers here, and I'll ask all 3 of them to come forward. But we'll start off with Sibabalwa Makungwate, who's from Vukambe High School in the Eastern Cape. So Sibabalwa's story is that, well done. Thank you. And just a moment before she leaves. So she suffers from cerebral palsy, and as you can see that she's wheelchair bound and has to use augmentative alternative communication devices as she cannot speak nor write. She uses the computer with an eye gaze and aid, which is controlled by movement of the eyes, which facilitates her communication. She used the eye gaze to respond to the grade 12 examination. Well done. And in second place, I think you're going to have to stand for this one as well, eh? It's just one of those moments, Angie. Madeleine Cozy, Praise God Mbata, from Mzimela High School. And Madeleine Cozy Mbata too suffers from cerebral palsy. And as you can see, that is also wheelchair bound and is unable to write. Wheelchair user, apologies for that, wheelchair user. And He also suffers from visual and speech impairment and has to use assistive devices to facilitate his communication. Now listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. Madeleine Cozy wrote his matric examination using a pointer that was attached to his forehead, which was used to type on an adapted keyboard. Well done, well done. It really takes a lot, ladies and gentlemen, I believe. Excuse me. Oh, I didn't give the province? Sirazi. Okay, ngiyaxolisa. Yo. Okay, so the province is KZN. Hey, KZN. And for this special one, in first place, from Limpopo, and I'm going to ask Diani to come to the podium. Diani Mbetani from Rivonia School for the Blind. Quickly. Sorry. Just quickly tell us who Diani is and what inspires him.
Diani Mbenzani is a 18, 19 years old boy born in the poor informal housing known as Rulani and grew up with his sight. After some time, he became blind. His father took him to the school for the blind known as Rivoni, where his hope and light was gained, because Rivoni all known as light. Yeah.
Well done. Thank you, man. Thank you. Can we get another warm round of applause? So just a quick special mention about Madeleine Cozy earlier on, because sometimes, you know, we strive, but we don't strive alone. There are people who hold our hands, who push us in the right direction. And a person that we've been asked to just say a special shout out to is Musia Kanivisani Khatebe, who assisted him every step of the way. It says here that it was done by Musio at a personal sacrifice of his time and having to make sure that Madeleine Cozy is comfortable. Musio has been invited to this special function, and we want to acknowledge him for his sacrificial efforts and contribution to Madeleine Cozy's success. And the moment we've all been waiting for, the top performing learner for the year 2019, the class of 2019, the National Senior Certificate. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Western Cape, Paarl Gymnasium High School, your top achiever. Look at her, she knows, she's beaming. She's beaming. Madeleine de Bernard. So the Western Cape has done it, Minister?
It's done well.
The Western Cape has done well. Yeah, the Western Cape may not be the top performing province, but it has the top performing learner. Well done. So, do you want to go? Ufuna ukuretire? So we've come to the end of this special broadcast. I don't know, is there anyone who's going to give a vote of thanks? To thank everyone who came out here to celebrate with these young achievers. We're going to ask the Deputy Minister to come forward and give the vote of thanks. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you so much for coming through, and thank you so much for supporting not only these 30 top performing pupils, but also supporting those pupils that led the country to celebrate an 81.3% pass mark. Well done. And an appeal to those who may not have passed. Listen, you didn't give up on yourself. You didn't give up on yourself. You made it all the way to grade 12. If there's anything to be proud of, is that you've made it that far and you didn't give up. So to you, well done, and yes, you can do better, and show them that you will do better.
Thank you, Eldrin.
Yes, you can call me Pepper.
No, that will be a new name, but thank you so much. I know that sometimes when you are directing a program, it's not easy for you to be thanked, because we thank people. Yes. I want to take this opportunity and thank you for the good work well done.
Thank you so much.
Normally, when we ask people from the media personalities to come and direct the program, it's like they don't know. So now it's like you come from DBE. Thank you so much for that. My minister has done all the work, so I don't want to take your time, because she has thanked all our stakeholders, all our partners. There's no one who has not been thanked, including the select and the portfolio committee members. Yeah, maybe on the vote of thanks, the person that she did not thank eloquently is the Premier of the Free State. Ma'am Premier, thank you so much. We would love that all premiers can come and support their MECs, because education is the mother of all professions. So if premiers are supporting education, then the country, South Africa, will be the best country. So I also want to thank the minister herself, because she thanked everybody, but no one could thank her. I heard her thanking me, the deputy minister, but she deserved all the gratitudes and everything. Minister, thank you so much for the, yeah, we can do that better. She deserves that very big round of applause and a standing ovation. And a standing ovation. Thank you. Thank you, colleagues. Yeah, we need to thank, when she presented here, most of us, we have always been part of the presentation of the grade 12 results. But to hear that the country, South Africa, has obtained above 80%, it's history in the making. Minister Motshekga has made history in South Africa. Yes, together with these MECs who are sitting here. MECs, can you stand up so that they give you a very big round of applause, even including those that are not here? MECs, yes. Thank you. Yes. Thank you so much, boys and girls, for the good work. For the good work that you are doing for this country. And you pass also our gratitude to the district directors, the HODs, district directors, circuit managers, principals of schools, teachers, parents, and the communities, because it says it takes a community to raise a child, and your provinces. We want to thank you so much. And also, lastly, congratulations to the top 30. I don't know how it feels to be number 30 out of 700,000. Thank you so much. Media, the people from media, SABC, we know you are part of us. But other media houses, and SABC, of course, thank you so much, because we know what is happening here. Everybody in the country and beyond were part of it. And because of you guys, we really appreciate the good work that you are doing. You are the ears and the eyes of the society. You are able to see where our eyes cannot see and bring that into our attention. We sometimes criticize you for this good work, but we cannot see where you see, which we cannot see as government. But we really appreciate to bring that into the attention of government and attention of the leaders. Thank you so much, media. And thank you so much, all of you that you are here today. And may God richly bless you all. Thank you.
The minister has announced a groundbreaking pass rate. It is now in our hands to sustain this performance. Everybody has a role to play in improving numeracy and literacy levels. We all can join the Read to Lead campaign, which is part of the broader reading revolution currently underway, led by the NECT. We will need to focus on learner well-being, ensuring that our children are protected from social ills, and the provision of school infrastructure is one area of critical importance. Quality education towards 2030. The Department of Basic Education. Every child is a national asset.
Deputy Minister, you can now approach the podium. I told you that I'm Pepper.
Pepper now is doing his work. Yeah, I must read, because this I've written. I said the results will be accessible at 12 midnight, but in the event that may be beyond the control of the Department of Basic Education and government in general, situations like load shedding, which might affect the system, which is beyond our control. In the event, I'm not saying it will happen, in the event that there's load shedding, then the results will be accessible at 6 o'clock in the morning. Yes, we're just tipped. We're tipped that load shedding is continuing, so we must announce that in the event that comes, really our apologies in advance, and the results at 6 o'clock naganjani, you'll get them. Thank you.
And that is the Deputy Basic Education Minister, Dr. Regina Mhaule, just cautioning matriculants that despite the fact that they were supposed to get their results at midnight, but you've seen the announcement, those of you who are at home or have been on your cell phones, that there is possible load shedding from 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. this morning, but definitely at 6 a.m. matriculants will be able to get their results. It's been a rather jubilant event, as you saw there with my colleague Aldrin Sampier, the Minister of Basic Education, and all of those top achievers across the country doing some wonderful work. For the first time in a very long time, South Africa's matriculants receiving a record pass rate that you saw of 81.3%. The top achieving provinces, the Free State with 88.4%. They're replacing Gauteng as the leading province, and Eastern Cape saw the biggest improvement with their pass rate jumping by